Alright, I reckon that's a long enough of a fucking break. I'm back, motherfuckers. So, sort of left things a bit high and dry with the last video. It's been, nearly 2 years. All kinds of shit went down. Fucking, my wife and I had a baby. There was hurricanes, so everything was in the garage. It's just been a mess. Either way, stopped doing terrain, but I'm getting back into it. So, without too much preamble, I'll get straight into what's going on. So, the old table's done. It's had games on it. It's been christened. Pretty happy with it. The only thing I need to finish doing with that is, as you can see over there, just paint the fucking sides of it. It's such a stupid job to leave undone, but I'll get it's on the to-do list. So next thing, we're doing another one. Fuck. Now, I can't take too much credit for this one. These 3 tiles here I bought off a geezer who basically, made him an offer he couldn't refuse kind of thing on Facebook. So this is going to be a bit more of a generic, Empire-esque table. So I like what he's done with it, but I'll definitely change a few things. So these patches are green. Nothing wrong with that, but I want more snow, so I'm probably going to try and overlay more white onto it just to give it a bit of a thicker winter sort of look. The random books you've got are basically just trying to straighten them out because the board's warped a little bit in the car trying to get them home because I'm a fucking idiot. Just turned up in my normal sedan thinking, oh yeah, they'll fit. They didn't fit, so we had to do a little bit of bendy. So hopefully the books will sort that out. Then the random terrain is stuff I've had kicking around for ages. It's a mix of, random shit I got as a free gift off Temu, or, like random prints I did years ago. And they've just been sitting there gathering dust, and I've finally started cleaning out the garage properly and getting some semblance of order in here. And I'm finding I've just got bags, boxes, fucking stuff everywhere. Rather than just being like, oh, just sell it, move it on, or whatever, it's like, I realized once upon a time I printed it for a reason. I had a plan. So I want to sort of start ticking off old plans, that kind of thing. So this is going to be sort of like, I'm calling it Empire. It'll be like the outskirts of, a slightly ruined Empire hamlet. Fucking, hold on. Fucking cat's on the table as always, dickhead. So, it'll be like bit of pine wood sort of thing. Might do a little cemetery, random buildings, and then some spooky shit. It's Empire. I think I've got a couple of really nice printed, ruined Empire-esque buildings, which I'll throw on here as well. It's these little chapel crypt looking things. So super easy just to get another table up, up and going, that sort of thing. So first protocol I'm going to do is this little cemetery. These gate things I picked up from Gap Games years ago. Literally just trying to knock this out of the off the to-do list. So I have no idea which company made these, but they're nice. They'll do the job. Incredibly painful if you stick one of these in your finger, so it's good. Foreshadowing, there's many terrain plans down the track, including a incredibly modular Mordheim table where it's literally like 1 foot square tiles and they're all interchangeable, but that's down the track. But the reason I'm telling you about that is this, I want it to be sort of able to incorporate into it, so I've kept this fairly square. I've just beveled the edges off. It's just MDF, just to, when I put it on a table like this, it doesn't look too much like it's sitting on a platform, but that'll make more sense once we get to the painting stage. So gonna be real lazy with this. It's time for hot glue. Back in a bit. All right, 15 minutes, a burnt finger, fucking late night bottle feed and a changed ass later, and we're done. That's just me too. So pretty straightforward. Hot glued it all in place. Happy days. I'm not putting, these are just markers for now. Obviously when they're all painted, I'll glue them down. I've just marked out rough spaces of where the graves would be, just to make it look like it's not too jumbled. I was torn between, do I do like a nice ordered cemetery sort of thing where it's like all in rows and stuff, or do I have it sort of they just fit in where they fit in kind of thing. And I went for that in the end because it felt a bit more Warhammer. The crypt itself I like as a feature now I'm looking at it, but I'm probably not going to glue it down, so I will texture underneath here, but I'll just obviously, this I might do like a little bit more gravelly or something, so it's like a trodden path or something, just leaving around it, you know, for the visitors and whatnot. But it'd be nice to leave this empty, so I could chuck like a necromancer summoning circle in there, or fucking, I don't know, I maybe even will do like a little removable piece with more grave markers on it or something. I'm not sure. I don't really know how they set cemeteries out. I'm not a necromancer. That being said, I need to prime this, so that's a tomorrow job because it's pitch black outside, so that won't work. I'm going to paint the fence first, then I'm going to do all the basing material, and when the basing material's down, I'm going to use, where's it gone? It's somewhere. It's got a big part of that Vallejo basing stuff. I do really like it. Over time I found it's a little bit too coarse for miniatures bases. It's got like really big bits in it, but for terrain, beautiful, really good. It's not too expensive as well, so I can slap a heap of that on. And look, if I do it after it's painted, because it's like a dark brown color, I don't really care if it goes up the walls a little bit. It just looks like, you know, Earth's Paladin kind of thing. This isn't, you know, display level. This is just so I can get another gaming table up and running, because I want to be able to host games days at mine and stuff. Don't tell the missus. You know, so if I can get like 3 or 4 tables good to go, that'd be amazing. So what I'll do with the tombstones is I'll paint those separately, and then when the basing stuff goes down, I'll sort of like push it in a bit, like so it leaves a marker, pull it out, let that dry, then hot glue those in or something. By the time you've put a bit of moss, flock, all that down, in theory, it should look alright, hide pretty well. In terms of colours, I'm going to try and keep it real dark, nitty gritty, gloomy sort of thing, you know, basically Sylvania, I assume. So if I ever throw a Vampire Count's army down on this, it'll look right at home. I've got a few of these strips left from the fences as well. So I've got 6 pieces. I was actually debating making these up as like 2 strips coming out here, like it's lined, and then because I've got another little crypty boy there, and I could just have it at the end here, make it more like a bit of a bigger tomb complex or something, for lack of a better word. Just say if I wanted it as like a big centerpiece or something. Not sure. We'll figure that out down the track. While I'm waiting for that to be primed, because I need to go outside to do that, what I might do, because I can do that in here. So I've got these shitty, they're either Temu or Aldi, not sure, but they look fucking atrocious. Like the color's horrible, but they'll do the job for, you know, some forests. So I'm gonna see if I can sort of go over them with an airbrush or something and see if I can salvage them into a better color. Look, I'm skeptical, but I'm trying not to just throw shit out because it's, you know, not perfect or whatever. So I'll see if I can salvage it. If not, I will throw it out and I'll just fucking buy some proper ones. But, you know, let's you know, see if we can make a bit of a journey out of it. Other than that, I've got to fix this thing up. I've had this for years. I don't know if this is like an official thing that was sold, because it feels like resin or something. I'm not sure. Obviously, like the base needs tidying up a bit. It's a bit tatty, but all in all, it looks great. So I'll have that sort of, you know, that ties it into a nice fantasy sort of vibe as a table. So it's not just, you know, generic woods. Like it has a dark, you know, grim feeling to it. So it'd be great for like a hag tree for Beastmen or something like that. Trying to think what else I wanted to do with this table, because I find after playing on this modular bad boy for so long, like it's starting to give me the shits, if I'm honest with you. Because the hills, as much as in my previous videos I was like, oh, hills gotta be big or fuck off, like, oh, fuck, they take up the whole table, and it starts to like make a lot of the games a bit samey, because it's like, you know, the big hills there. But look, that's my own fault for making a modular table and then sort of not making more tiles, you know what I mean? So I may actually add to that table. You know, there's a few things I want to do, like make some coastal tiles. The river tiles, I want to be able to take them off completely, so I'll do a few just blank grassland table tiles as well. But anyway, I'm fucking waffling and getting off track here. So yeah, I'm gonna throw a bit of colour down and we'll get back to you. Alright, so it's the morning after. Fucking laziness won through the day. Started priming those trees with the airbrush and stuff, just because it's something I can do indoors at night. Oh god, that was like pulling teeth, so I gave up on that real quick. But what that's meant is quick trip down to the cheap shop this morning. Managed to find a spray can of like a dark green, and the colour's beautiful. Super happy with that. So, you know, if in doubt, be lazy. Prime this just with a grey sort of thing that's still drying. Weirdly enough, that's an enamel spray and that dried instantly, and this is acrylic and this seems to be taking a bit longer. I don't know if there's some science behind that. Other bits and pieces, knocked together the rough start of a piece of shit hill. It's not going to look like this when it's finished. I'll try and curve it out a bit, mainly just so I can put a little cave in there. Always wanted to do a Sylvania themed table, and I've got this thing in my head that it's got to have a cave on there for either like a Vargulf or a Ghoul Burrow or something. So that's what that'll be eventually. Do some scattered bones, you know, splashes of blood, that kind of thing. Should look all right. Polystyrene, fucking spac filler, you know, cheap as chips crap, you know, thrown together. These things are going to be bases for the trees. Gone for the old school, and I say old school, if you've got back pain like me, you'll remember this. The How to Make Wargames terrain books from back in the day, the red one. Picked up a copy of that recently in a little bundle I got. And oh, it just took me back, and it made me really want to have a crack at some of the stuff they used to do. So, you know, I want to get back to actually making some terrain. Printing's great, love it. It's definitely got its place, and I think the sweet spot is actually, you know, a demon baby of printing and handcrafted stuff. You know, you print your detail bits to stick onto the handcrafted. I think that's where the sweet spot is. You know, printing is great, but you're just painting another model. You know what I mean? I find I get much more of a sense of achievement, I guess, for lack of a better word, out of hand making something. You know, and that's what I'm about. I've got to enjoy this as well, you know, so that's, you know, trying to make sure I do as much of that as possible. So that being said, this is 2 pieces of cardboard hot glued together, bit of filler, and then you bevel the edge off, like, you know, you cut one at a slope, and then a bit of filler just to give it solid edges, that sort of thing. It looks terrible because the filler that I've got at home obviously is dried out, so put a bit of water in there to try and revitalize it. And you know, it's still quite lumpy and shit, but by the time this has all had primers, texture stuff, all that, it should be fine. So I'm not going to stress about it too much. Got a little bit excited with the filler there, as you can see, a bit wet. So basically I'm off and about for the rest of the day. Got to wait for all this to dry, and then hopefully tonight I can get back into, you know, some stuff. Probably call that the end of this video. In the next video I'm hoping to just have a bunch of updates and hopefully some finished pieces.